Hello there, it's always a pleasure to have you join us on the program each week. We remain your #1 source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Margaret Mary Osuyobor. On this edition, we begin by joining Faith and her guests on the town hall for the continuation of their explosive session on speedy claim settlements as advertising tools for the insurance industry beyond Rhetorics. As always, it's no holds barred, so do take a listen.
A marketer is a bird of passage, but their contract remains with you, and the company remains there. So who you are entering into insurance contract with is not the marketer, it's the insurance company.
On this edition also, we'll bring you excerpts of the press briefing of the Nigerian Insurers Association, NIA, where they announced the appointment of Mrs. Yetunde Ilori as the new Director General of the association, plus highlights of the annual general meeting of the National Association of Insurance and Pension Correspondents, Naipco, where IEI anchor pensions and premium pensions played host. Details of these and more we have lined up for your viewing pleasure this week, so sit back, relax and enjoy it. Please stay with us.
In an ideal situation, we do know what's happening now. Most marketers will go and say, Oga, buy this insurance product, your car, we will insure it. When the car, another car pass the car, we will pay you. My company will give you a brand new car. They say all sorts of things when at the point where they are marketing clients. And sometimes for clients who don't go through intermediaries, they believe all those things. So now when you have given me all those promises, I now suffer a loss. I'm expecting to see see those things you have promised me. I now come and you are saying, no, it's not like that. You need to get this, you need to do that. So why that is, in my opinion, is why we have this misconception about claims settlement.
Well, first and foremost, insurance is not an oral contract. It's a formal contract. So, and whatever any person tells you at the end of the day, what matters most is what in the policy, as my colleague has said. But the undeniable fact is that there is a tendency for people to exaggerate their claims and exaggerate the circumstance, and you can't just play into their hands. It's incumbent on you to make efforts, because the insurance premium you are holding it in trust for all the insured, and you don't have to be careless about it. So whoever comes with a claim must go through a process. You don't blame any person if you have not had time to read their policy, because if you can't read their policy, you should get somebody to read their policy, not necessarily a broker. Maybe a lawyer friend, maybe a relation that is working. It has been simplified.
So the bodies have been simplified. That it was in the past, you had them written in legal, like today it's been simplified. Anybody who understands English language can consummate what is actually written on insurance policy.
But we do know for a fact that most people, I don't want to say most Nigeria, we don't like to read. So I rather work with what the marketer has promised me and told me that this document you are carrying, if anything happens, my company will give you a brand new car. They will give you this, they will give you that. So it's a problem when they now want to claim and you are now saying, oh, why didn't you read the policy we gave to you? But your marketer told me that if my car is involved in an accident, your company, you people were going to replace the car for me. So there's actually a disconnect.
You see, ordinarily, there can be a contract to replace the car, and it will usually be stated. There can be a contract to give you a car for a period while you are adjusting. It will usually be stated. So those things are not out of place. But what will be out of place is to promise one thing and then do another thing on the paper. And in any case, that is why I say a marketer is a bird of passage, but their contract remains with you, and the company remains there. So who you are entering into insurance contract with is not the marketer, it's the insurance company. The marketer
but that's where the problem is, because the person buying insurance is not seeing the company. They are seeing the marketer who is promising them those sweet benefits.
Where I agree with you is that marketers must be ethical. They must represent the best of what the insurance is presenting to the client. But where a marketer goes on a frolic of misrepresenting an insurance company, then that is bad. That is bad. But as bad as it is, I don't think the insurance company will bear the consequence of it if it is not in writing by an authorized representative of the insurance company.
Mr. Williams, you wanted to speak?
Yes. Really, Mr. Egeru has dealt with my concern in that area. But at the same time, I'd like to add this, that there is no insurance company that will want to engage a representative that will go out there and promise the offer of the company. Because we all know, I want to believe that the company must have taken their marketer all through a proper training, product training, to understand what the promise offer. And there is no point at which I will expect a representative of that company to go to the market and overstate what the promise the company has promised to offer when they purchase an insurance company.
Because go ahead.
So, and what is there is that I think there is a duty on the part of the insuring public as well. Once you purchase a cover, take time to visit the office and verify if the insurance cover that has been provided for you is valid. I have seen somebody brought up a case to me within the week. He approached the Central Assessing Authority for change of plate number. So he gave the job to another third party to handle on his behalf. And the insurance company that was provided, the insurance cover that was provided, I was opportune to lay hands on the certificate. I went to ask NIDD to verify the validity of the insurance. It wasn't stated. It was backs the door arrangement of a thing. That person who has sold that insurance to that individual, we wouldn't consider that person as a representative of any insurance company
at all.
But the insured have gone out on his own to arrange for this person to carry out this process for him. And the person have come back with kind of facetious insurance, and the blame emanating as a result of that should not be levied on the insurance industry. It is the insured himself who has been so careless enough not to have done the needful. What is expected is that the insured should walk into the insurance company, explain to them and what exactly he wanted, and they will provide him exactly solution to his request, than to go to somebody who is not an insurance practitioner and you ask that an individual to help you to arrange for an insurance. So whatever that comes out of that insurer should take responsibility.
Okay, so
in any case, there are two clear issues. One is assessment of the claim and making an offer. What time does it take? The other one is repudiation. Now, if it is in terms of making an offer and you are complaining about the time it has taken, well, that's a different issue. But like he has said, insurance companies these days try to be fast. Because there are some add-ons where they are IT compliant and so many other things. So you can even adjust a particular case, even if it's in Medugri, in one day. Now, when it comes to repudiation, and you feel unfairly treated, you have a recourse to the law, you have a recourse to the National Insurance Commission, because by the Insurance Act, even Naipco can set off the claim of the statutory deposit of the insurance company once it is genuine. So that is there. And insurance companies have gone out of the way because of the genuineness in what they want to do, to set up ombudsman where you can complain, and also there are also a lot of consumer associations that are handling these issues. So people tend to exaggerate little things, and I think it stems from the fact that they see us as a bank where you have placed a deposit and you go there to withdraw it. It doesn't work that way, and we never work that way.
Okay, Mr. Shiniga, as a loss adjuster, now I want to ask this question. Is it really in all cases where an insured suffers a loss that you have to go through the gamut of let's do investigation, let's find out, let's check, let's do all this one, and it is dragging on and on? Oh, is the insured's fault because he has not brought the proper documentation and all of that? Is it in all cases?
Well, I tell you, like I said earlier on, most insurance companies, let me say all insurance companies today operating in the Nigerian insurance market had watered down even the level of the investigation, the level of documentation required by their customers to make a claim, right? And this has percolated down to service providers like loss adjusters and any other surveyors and consultants. So the level of investigation these days is even so soft that most of the time the insurance companies give their customers the benefit of the doubt. When even we have borderline cases, right? You give them the benefit of the doubt. Shebi is our customer. Shebi is this. So they will always allow. So it's not a matter of investigation like the CIA, DSS. Nobody does that. What the insurance company wants to know, the loss occurred, in the circumstances in which it was said to have occurred, and what is the amount that is payable, not what you are asking for, right? Because every claimant all over the world, not only in Nigeria, have the tendency to inflate, to overestimate their claim. So that process is a simple process. How much is the roofing sheet? What gauge is it? How much is the paint? So all those processes are very simple verification process, which in this internet age you can easily verify across the board, even without leaving the comfort of your offices.
Okay, now let's come to the issue of some customers, insurance customers, they expect their claims to be settled quickly. Now, when that is done in some cases, they also live with a very negative experience, because coming back to what you just said now, what they are expecting is not what they get they settled for at the end of the day. In fact, recently, this week, a colleague of mine at the radio station was saying, oh, I will never do insurance again. He just told me, I said, I would never do insurance again. I said, what is the issue? He said, my car had an accident. I quoted, they gave me this. At the end of the day, they now started telling me about SS, that I didn't buy SS. But nobody, that is why I was saying before, that at the time he was purchasing the insurance cover for his car, nobody told him about that he needed to buy excess and all that. Is when he now wanted to claim that they said, oh, you didn't buy excess, so we have to deduct this, we have to deduct all of that. So sometimes people get their claims settled, but they still live with a very negative feeling that these insurance people, they are not good people at all.
That brings us back to what my colleagues here have been saying all over. It is very necessary. It is very necessary that we say, when we say right. Right. It is very, very necessary that we sell right. And when we sell right, especially when you are selling directly. Now, when you are going through a registered insurance broker, it's a different ball game entirely. But when you are selling directly, it is necessary that you sell right. Now, and the other thing is misconception. I still come back to misconception. About 2 Saturdays or last Saturday, we know what happened on the island, right? So many, the flooding and everything. Now, not many people will realize that they needed to extend their motor cover to cover damages by flood. So when you come up with that kind of claim and they say, sorry, you do not have a flood cover.
Okay, now, Mr. Shinga, sorry to call it. Like I said, this program is interactive. We can cut into each other's thoughts. Now, what you are saying makes a lot of sense. But the question is, if somebody purchases an insurance cover, let's say even comprehensive directly from an insurance company, and I'm not told that, okay, you need to extend this thing to cover flood and all that. It's not when I now come that, my car passed through a flooded road on Victoria Island and now I have a problem. You now start telling me that, boy, you didn't extend the cover. Where is the place of education, proper customer education at the point of selling?
It really is not the responsibility of any insurance company or its personnel to state categorically what problems that are peculiar to the environment where the insured actually lives. But the onus is on the insured to ensure that if you understand the environment where he lives, at the point when he's arranging for insurance cover, he should state it clearly that he wanted an extension like flood, riot, and civil commotion.
My pleasure now to bring to your notice that Council approved the appointment of Mrs. Yetunde Olubunmi as Ilori. Her appointment takes effect from the 7th of August 2017. You know, we like the women so much. And the women have taken over our industry on a very light note. At today's meeting, equally, we took another major step that has to do with the vacancy that was created by the retirement of our former deputy chairperson. When that was brought to the notice of council at the last meeting, we declared the position vacant and agreed that at this meeting of today, that position will be filled. By our constitution, council is empowered to fill any vacancy so created. Council, therefore, relying on that constitutional provision, declared that position vacant and announced and invited nominations. And as at the close of nominations, we received just one nomination, or one of us alone who expressed interest in that position. And council had no other option but to ratify that expression of interest. And so I'm equally privileged to present to you the new deputy chairman of the Nigerian Insurance Association, the person of Mr. Tokpe Smart. We also went on to fill, because before his appointment, he occupied the position of honorary treasurer of the association. By this appointment, there again existed a casual vacancy that we needed to fill. And we needed, therefore, council looked at all of the qualified candidates and immediately ratified the person of Mr. Ganiyu Musa as our new honorary treasurer. Of course, again, until today, Ganiyu Musa was our assistant honorary treasurer, and therefore, again, another vacancy created. And we didn't want to allow any vacuum, and our dear colleague, who had played that role some years back, particularly as a treasurer of the association, before he took a temporary exit, came in very handy. We thought that Mr. Akimboye well deserved to come back to the leadership of the association. And so Mr. Akimboye was appointed our assistant Honorary Treasurer.
Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. This is still Almond Finance and Wealth Report. Moving on now, we bring you highlights of the Naipco 2017 AGM, where IEI Anchor Pensions and Premium Pensions played host. Speaking during his presentation, Mr. Fatai Olufesho of Premium Pensions said that the company's total assets under management currently stands at 487 billion naira, with its total benefits paid standing at 128 billion naira. Meanwhile, Mr. Jalade Odunton of IEI Anchor Pensions said that the company's total assets under management stands at 62 billion naira, with over 100,000 contributor account owners.
The National Association of Insurance and Pension Correspondents, Naipco, recently held the 2017 annual joint meeting at the Welcome Center Hotel, Ikeja. Speaking at the meeting, the president of the association, Mrs. Omobola Tolukusimo, enumerated some of the achievements in the 1 year they have been in office.
Permit me to also add that your ESCO in its 1 year in office has blazed the trail by successfully reviewing our constitution. Presently, Congress is looking forward towards adoption of constitution, which will be done at the next general meeting. We have also come out with a Naipco Trumpet Journal, which also is going to be presented to you at this August meeting. Within the period under consideration, we have been able to restore the trust and confidence of our members in the association as a group that can protect its members, especially the weak.
The Assistant Director, Corporate Communications, Naipcom, Mr. Razak Salami, who made a brief appearance at the Naipco AGM, used the medium to thank members of the association for their continued support of the Commission's activities.
First, I will appreciate all the support that this House has given to us in NICOM over the years, and especially last year when we have our difficult moments. I appreciate you all on behalf of the Commissioner, and at the appropriate time, we'll do more appreciation. I also want to apologize and also appeal to you guys, because ordinarily, like we normally do each year, this is July, but I prefer to say this is August. We ought to have met at least once this year, which we have not been able to do. And that informed my acceptance of this invitation, especially to come and talk to you why we have not been able to do that.
Since 2016, IEI and Pensions have been hosting the annual general meeting of Naipco. Presenting some of the achievements of the company to Naipco members, Mrs. Jolade Odutan, Group Head Business Development and Strategy, IEI and Pensions, said that the RSA unit price has been on a steady growth.
RSA unit price has grown. We're not there yet, but we're still building it up. Our RSA unit has grown over time. The unit price is 2.0727 as at the end of June 2017. Our retiree unit price is 2.3939 as at the end of June 2017. And the total amount paid out to retirees from inception, we paid out over 2.7 billion. We have significantly grown in numbers and have also opened branches in key locations all over the country. Our assets under management currently stands at 61.975 billion. You can see the great difference from the last year. I think we were here together. So.
Also sharing insight on his company's operations, Mr. Fatai Olufesa of Premium Pensions Limited said that the company is today the largest indigenous company without any bank affiliations.
The success story of Premium Pension from 2005 to date is that we actually started from zero accounts. We have no affiliate with any financial institutions. Quite a number of other PFA does, but we do not. And the good news is that as at today we speak, Premium Pension is the largest indigenous pension fund administrator in the country in terms of assets under management, in terms of number of RSA holders that are with us. And for over 3 years now, Premium Pension has distinguished itself clearly as the leader in terms of return on investment to the RSA holders.
The annual general meeting of Naipco provides a platform for social interaction, knowledge sharing among members who daily report the insurance and pension industry in both print and electronic media.
And that is our time on the program this week. Here's hoping you enjoyed every moment spent. Do keep updated with us next week for another exciting package. But in the meantime, we would like to know your thoughts on the program, so feel free to connect with us across all our social media platforms. You can also visit our website at www.AlmondFinanceReports.com. We are also live on BCOS Television Ibadan every Thursday by 6 p.m. My name is Margaret Mary Osiubo. From all of us here, do have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.